If ever there was a car to tell the story about how rapidly the automotive landscape is changing, then this is surely it. It's called the Hyundai Kona Electric. So what makes this car so significant? Well, for a start, as the name suggests, the Kona Electric is a fully battery electric vehicle and is also a crossover, which is really what today's market wants. But perhaps most surprising of all, this game-changing car is built not by BMW or Volkswagen or Mercedes, but by Hyundai, proving that this Korean company is now more than capable of leading the market. And that's not a position that Hyundai is used to being in, and it suggests that in the Kona Electric, it's produced something quite extraordinary. And in this Car Gurus UK review, we're going to take a closer look at what that is. But before we do that, make sure that you comment and like this video if you've enjoyed it, and turn on notifications to make sure that you catch all of our latest videos. In some ways, the surprising thing about this car is actually how unsurprising it is. For a smallish crossover, you get pretty much the space that you would expect to get. The only difference between this and a normal petrol or diesel is that the floor sits a bit higher, which lifts your legs up. But you still get ISOFIX, and you can fit a third person into the middle seat here, so all good. At 332 litres, the boot is a reasonable size, and 60/40 split folding rear seats leave what is very nearly a completely flat floor when dropped. This isn't an electric car in the mould of a BMW i3 then, which compromises practicality in favour of battery power. It's also arguably not as interesting as a BMW i3, but that could be another one of the Kona's strengths. It's basically just a car, an ordinary car that happens to be powered by a battery, and that battery can be topped up here in the nose. You've got rapid charge alongside the standard Type 2 connection. The battery in this car is a 64 kilowatt hour unit, giving a claimed range of up to 278 miles. What's it like in here then? Well, it's pretty conventional by modern car standards. In-car storage is good. There's a separate panel here for the heater controls, which makes it easy to use. And this touch screen is familiar from other Hyundai cars, and it also means that you get smartphone connectivity, and there's a separate section for EV mode. Here you can, for example, set the car to charge on a cheaper overnight electricity tariff if you have one, as well as set it to warm up on a cold and frosty morning. Sorry, couldn't help myself. Which really is one of the undersold joys of running an electric car. It's just a shame that Hyundai doesn't currently offer an app that would allow you to preheat the car remotely without it being plugged in. Another gripe, although it's good that the Kona Electric feels so normal, we do wonder if it's just a bit too plain for a car that in its 64 watt hour guise costs in excess of £35,000 once government grants have been factored in. Think back to that i3 or Tesla, and the interiors do feel special. This one, although well equipped with its heated and cooled seats and heated steering wheel, it doesn't feel special. Enough chat though, let's get on the road and see where the money's been spent. The first thing you'll notice about the Hyundai Kona is the slightly odd noise it makes at low speeds. And Hyundai calls this melodic driving, and it's to warn pedestrians of your presence. There's also quite a lot of tyre noise, which does hinder refinement, and the ride is quite firm, but it's not what we would call uncomfortable. Quite the opposite, in fact. It will get you from A to B feeling relaxed and refreshed. That's largely because the electric power chain makes this car so good to drive. It's so easy, you just point and go. There's no gears to worry about. And you can adjust the regenerative braking using these paddles here from none to lots. It gets from 0 to 30 in what feels like an instant, leaving other cars in your wake even if you're not trying to. Acceleration past that point does start to tail off, but it's still a quick car. 0 to 62 miles per hour takes 7.9 seconds, and it'll happily cruise at motorway speeds with plenty of acceleration in reserve. Putting all that instant torque through the front wheels isn't without its problems though. Put your foot flat down from low speeds and you'll see that The traction control and electronic stability program is cutting in. So although you do have that fantastic brisk acceleration, it is not a performance car, so don't expect any major fun factor. It is, however, fairly neat and tidy. Again though, that simply reinforces that the Kona is a perfectly ordinary crossover, just one that happens to be powered by electricity. As for real world range, you can get about 270 miles in between charges. So if you go for the rapid charge, that gets you 80% battery power and it takes about an hour and 15 minutes to do that. If you go for the 7 kilowatt wall charger, that's going to take around 9 hours. The point is, whether you need to do that every day, twice a week or once a month, the Kona will leave some in reserve for most journeys. There's no doubt that Hyundai has produced a very impressive electric car. Okay, it doesn't have the wow factor of a Tesla or the innovative construction of an i3, but the fact that it is so normal is probably going to be its greatest appeal. It's just the kind of car the EV movement needs, the kind of car that fits into your lifestyle with ease. There's minimal disruption and compromise, and as the charging network continues to improve, this could be the hottest ticket in town. Do you agree? And would you take a Kona electric over a petrol or diesel crossover? Let us know, and please do subscribe and turn on those notifications. And remember, when it comes to finding your next car, you can easily find great deals from top-rated dealers at cargurus.co.uk.